Welcome on into a special Friday edition of the Baseball Insiders. I am Adam Weinrib here again with FanSided's MLB Insider Robert Murray. Robert, fun little Friday show, and I'm excited to break down some of the rumors that our viewers, listeners, etc. can't seem to get enough of. Kenley Jansen on the move, Jose Altuve, an Astro for life. What does that mean for the rest of the Astros, and what do we see around the league? Thanks, as always, for joining me to help break it down.
No, and I appreciate you having me here as always. We have not had much movement yet again in baseball. Wait, hang on. All right, well, I have to go look at something for you in a little bit, but anyways, yeah, things have not really happened that much throughout the league. It has been relatively quiet. I know it's been a surprise for a lot of different people. But anyways, I do think we're going to end up having some sort of movement here. I mean, it's like, that being said, we got to have movement because we have so many different players that are still unsigned. We have a lot of high-end free agents. We still have the Boris Big Four that are still unsigned as well. Mm-hmm. And it has to break at some point. But it is just mind-boggling how slow it's been. But here to break it all down with me is Adam Weinrib. How you doing, good sir?
I'm doing good. Yeah, we did a show on Monday where we were like, hey, are the Boris Big Four getting any closer to signing? And consensus was like, no. Well, no, probably not. And here we are Friday at the end of another week. No technical public movement there, although Boston fans will tell you differently. We will definitely get into all of that, as well as the trade rumblings and some of your individual questions and teams. Will open up the notebooks. Again, today's show is sponsored by DraftKings. No better time. This is for baseball fans, but no better time to join DraftKings if you haven't than right now, 2 days before the Super Bowl. They're offering a fantastic sign-up bonus for new users. You can place a $5 first bet on anything to instantly claim $150 in bonus bets. You will also be rewarded with a separate no-sweat single-game parlay every single day when you opt in. The best part is that you will receive both rewards even if your first bet loses, and it's definitely more helpful if your first bet does lose. When you join DraftKings, make sure to sign up with our code BaseballInsider, no S, just Insider. Using our code BaseballInsider not only gets you these great bonuses, but it directly supports the podcast, your boys, right here. Some of our fans in the Discord have been stalking my LinkedIn lately. I wouldn't need to have a LinkedIn if more of you supported the podcast by going to DraftKings. If you've been considering signing up, make sure to use our code BaseballInsider to maximize your first bets and parlays. This offer is only available to new customers who are 21 plus and physically present in legal gambling states. Please remember to always gamble responsibly and check the episode description for the full terms of the offer to see if you qualify. Robert, did you get any Super Bowl bets in? Because I tell you, I did my $10 and spread it out on a bunch of crazy shit. So I have like 7 bets that are all $1 or $2, and we'll see if they hit. But I don't know how you handle that stuff.
Yeah, it sounds like your Arizona Diamondbacks bet all over again. What you ended up doing?
It hit. It got me $15. I'm a Diamondbacks believer.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it funded your Super Bowl bets. But I can confidently say that I want to say like 7 bets down. I put them $25 a pop. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, not necessarily high stakes, but like it's enough where it like gets the juices flowing watching the game for sure. Hopefully they all hit, and then I could end up ordering DoorDash for a week on DraftKings. So that would be pretty nice. But yeah, I'm getting people in this asking what my Super Bowl pick is. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing is the 49ers are a gigantic rival of the Philadelphia Eagles, or the team I root for. And then the Kansas City Chiefs just beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl last year. I'm an Andy Reid guy, but basically no matter what, I'm going to be unhappy. So I just hope both teams have fun. That's what I'm rooting for. I'm hoping both teams have fun. I do think the Chiefs win, though.
I think the Chiefs win, too, and I got them plus 2.5. And I was like, come on, the Chiefs are the underdog in this game. Are we sure? I mean, well, luckily, excited for a rematch, as Jordan Gilmore says in the comments. At least the last time these two teams played in 2020, nothing weird happened for the rest of that year. So we should be good. It just means a normal year is coming where all normal stuff happens. Let's open up the floodgates a little bit. Talk about the stuff that we got to talk about. Give everybody the updates they are looking for. I didn't want to run a caption that said any more updates on Scott Boras' Big Four. I certainly did not want to do that, but we've had enough people in the Discord today talking about Jordan Montgomery and asking you to power rank which one goes first and who needs Bellinger more, etc., that we might as well just start here and see if anything tangible has changed since we last spoke. Sort of the obvious elephant in the room is that the Rangers TV deal details came out today, and they were not exactly favorable to indicate, oh, look, a windfall of cash for Texas.
Yeah, it was very underwhelming and probably not the result that the Rangers were looking for in this case. And obviously, like, all the speculation has been, and rightfully so, that the Rangers can't spend big money until they get this TV deal resolved. Like, I think that is one of the reasons why Josh Hader was not more firmly in play there, because entering the offseason, I ended up thinking the Rangers were one of the teams that made the most sense for Josh Hader, but they were really not, to my knowledge, that firmly involved. Obviously ended up going to Houston. But now with Hader off, you would think Jordan Montgomery would make a lot of sense there. And maybe this TV deal now being, like, having clarity there could make that a more realistic option. But the fact that it came in a little bit underwhelming is a little bit, it makes you wonder. I don't necessarily know. I have not heard, since this has been reported by Evan Grant, what it means necessarily for their chances for Montgomery. But there's plenty of other teams that make sense for a guy like Montgomery too. I still think the Boston Red Sox make so much sense here for Montgomery. I mean, it's like, he's lives in that area. His wife has residency in that area. He's currently in their backyard right now. I mean, it makes so much sense. And plus they have a huge need for a starting pitcher, but have not heard anything to indicate that's close. And same basically can be said for all of these guys. And Boris is big four. I have not heard anything to indicate that any of them are close to signing, which means that this is only going to drag on more and more, which, man, is that frustrating. That's tough.
We can only yell about Montgomery being a perfect fit for the Red Sox so many times before they wake up and decide to get the ball rolling there, which I guess leads directly into the question on everybody's lips today, the Kenley Jansen stuff. We've thought about that being a way for the Red Sox to dump salary for quite a while. It wasn't necessarily an original thought. And as soon as Chris Sale went out the door, but didn't actually come with full salary relief, and the Red Sox still had to eat some of that money, you had everybody searching for different ways the Red Sox could get more money off the books. Kenley, Chris Martin, you want to keep one of the two, and Kenley's more expensive. So if somebody wants to pay that salary, go ahead and do it. Have you heard anything akin to what we're seeing swirling a little bit today? The Dodgers being involved, the Phillies being reportedly involved, Philadelphia, a team that brought Aaron Nola back early and has been dead silent until basically this conversation and this morning, when word leaked that Brandon Marsh was having knee surgery performed by Dr. Stephen Cohen, by the way. Is no one else suspicious about that? Yeah. We're letting Steve Cohen we're letting rich guys walk into the operating room now, do whatever they want to their rival players' knees. Very interesting call there. But now those are the two teams that you're hearing in the Kenley Jansen proceedings, which I guess may or may not happen, but could immediately lead to a domino falling and the Red Sox getting a chance to woo Montgomery with a little more money. Are you hearing about any of the Jansen stuff being reality?
Yeah, it's interesting because the Jansen rumors have been swirling all offseason. And I had not heard the Phillies until what David Vassay ended up reporting earlier this morning, saying that they were among the finalists for Jansen. And he also listed the Dodgers as another team that were in. Dodgers were an interesting mention to me because they just got done signing Ryan Brazier. They have a lot of different guys that they can end up using in the ninth inning. And I mean, they have quality bullpen depth, but as they've gotten a notice in recent years, like, you can never have too much of it. So I think Jansen in that regard makes sense. Clearly the Dodgers are not afraid to spend. And plus he's very familiar with the LA area, having played with the Dodgers for the number of years. And it would be very nice hearing California Love blaring at Dodger Stadium again, because that is easily, of all the games that I've ever been to, that's probably the most iconic walk-up song that I've ever heard. Granted, I was not there for Mariano Rivera or Trevor Hoffman before people start canceling me. I did not get to witness that in person. But I think the Dodgers make sense, although I'm a little skeptical there. The Phillies make a lot of sense because obviously they lost Craig Kimbrell in the offseason, and last year it was incredibly obvious entering the offseason or entering the World Series that the Phillies had a closer problem, and Adam ended up identifying that right before the World Series, and he said he thinks that Craig Kimbrell might end up being what cost the Phillies a World Series, or the NLCS, I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, he was dead on with that. So I want to give Adam his props. And if the Phillies ended up going, like, they have plenty of young relievers that they can end up leaning on, but for a team that has World Series aspirations, I think a guy like Jansen makes a lot of sense. Clearly, Dave Dombrowski, he likes pitching. I mean, who doesn't like pitching? But he's shown if he likes a pitcher, he will go out and get that pitcher. So I think that fit makes sense. There are other teams that have poked around about Kenley Jansen, and there have been rumors about James Duran possibly being like a trade candidate.
Jaron, right?
Or Jaron Duran, not James.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jaron, a good shout, Adam. Jaron Duran possibly being a trade candidate. And I can say that the Padres have had conversations with the Red Sox about him. But that being said, as of this moment, or as of this morning, I should say, I had heard nothing was imminent there. But those rumors are accurate. But that being, like, he fits exactly what the Padres want and honestly need. And it's a young outfielder who is not making much, and it won't end up like breaking their payroll by any means. And it would give them flexibility to add elsewhere and spend elsewhere and give them someone long-term to build around. But I'm under the impression that nothing is close there.
I'm under the impression that nothing is close, the story of the 2024 MLB offseason. We are all just, we love poking around. We love talking about it. But it's February 9th, and we're thinking about payroll clearing moves that could have been completed in early December. Like Adam Sandler once said, this could have been brought to my attention yesterday.
Exactly. It's honestly remarkable how slow this offseason has been. Like, you talk to different teams, you talk to different agents, and they all say the same thing. Yeah, we're talking, but nothing is close, or there's no offers that have been made yet. It is. I've been in baseball. I think this is my 8th or 9th offseason, somewhere in that ballpark, and I cannot recall an offseason ever like this. It is truly remarkable just how slow this has been. And yeah, I don't know what, like, they clearly there has to be something done to speed up the offseason, because this is moving at a snail's pace. And yeah, it's remarkable. And I know there's a lot of people behind the scenes that are getting frustrated by it. And yeah, honestly, it sucks.
It is moving at a snail's pace. Should I do Sandler? I've been thinking about doing Sandler. I guess I'll do. Once again, a trade conversation that could have been brought to my attention yesterday. All right.
That was well done. Honestly, your impressions on this show are 10 out of 10. I'll give you that.
They should have moved. They should have moved. I should have moved the mic back before I screamed like wedding singer Sandler. Tyler Milliken, please clip that. Thank you. Let's move on to the AL West team that can't seem to stop stealing headlines, to be honest. This was supposed to be the year that maybe the Astros could got. Right? They lost all their home games in the ALCS last year, just like they lost all their home games in the 2019 World Series. The window is closing. Jose Altuve is a free agent. He's had no extension talks at all with Houston through the end of last season, per Jose Altuve himself on the Baseball Insiders. If you haven't seen that episode with Altuve, go back and watch it. Robert asked him, and we were like, he's not going to answer this question. Or he's going to be like, yeah, we talked, we'll see what we get done. I love Houston. And Robert was like, if you had extension talks, he was like, nope. And then we were both kind of taken aback, like, that was a short answer. And you're like, none at all. And he was like,
yeah,
nope,
like none at all. And like, honestly, like at that point, like everyone thought like that an extension with Altuve and the Astros would get done eventually. But obviously at that point, like there were no conversations whatsoever. But clearly they have, they identified him as a player that they wanted to have for the remainder of his career. And Altuve felt the same exact way. And it was a match that was honestly it was meant to be. Scott Boras, who represents Altuve, never does long-term extensions, but in this case, this was one that was different, and it ended up securing Altuve in Houston for the remainder of his career. And immediately, like the follow-up conversation after that was, what does this mean for Alex Bregman? What does this mean for Kyle Tucker? What does it mean for Framber Valdez? Especially in the case of Alex Bregman, nothing. It's to me like this was a totally different case between Bregman and Altuve, and Scott Boras even said the same exact thing. Unless the Astros just offer him what he would end up getting on the open market, which is going to be a very, very, very lucrative contract, I would anticipate Bregman testing free agency. I know in the past, I don't know if it's been this offseason, but in previous off seasons, like Tucker and the Astros have had conversations about an extension. I believe that was reported at the time as well. Guess you can't rule anything out there, but that being said, like that's also going to be a really pricey contract as well. So who knows what'll happen there. And then Framber Valdez, I remember there was a report last year about him having like a 5-year, $150 million asking price or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And then his agent, Ulysses Cabrera, ended up going on the record and said that is categorically false and that there has not been any conversations. So I don't necessarily know where that stands there. But that being said, between Altuve, obviously Altuve is staying, but then you have Bregman, Tucker, and Valdez. Their long-term outlooks pretty questionable, and considering the magnitude of all three of those contracts, it's going to be very difficult for the Astros to keep them all long-term.
Yeah, and Scott Boras basically came out and said this week, Altuve, it's a bridge contract. He signed a bridge contract. We're just going to get him to the end of his career here. Bregman, different situation, hitting free agency in his prime, et cetera. So you definitely have to categorically take those two things differently. But the deferrals, the way Altuve's contract is structured does make it kind of easy to do a deferred contract for Tucker too, or Valdez, or whoever's hitting during those, 2026, 2027 years. You can maybe structure it the same way, where Altuve's balloons late. Maybe the Tucker extension, if it does happen, could balloon late too. 15 mil, 16 mil, 35, 36, 37. Deferrals weren't just invented this offseason, but it definitely feels like they were. So now we're going to be thinking about that moving forward as well.
No, exactly. And I also want to give a shout out here to Red Sox fans that are aggregating this pod. We have Red Sox stats. We have all sorts of different people who are aggregating this in real time. And I'm watching my phone just light up like a Christmas tree with all these things here. So shout out to you guys for watching the show. Red Sox stats, you know how big of a fan both Adam and I are, even though he's a Yankees fan. But we're both huge fans, so we appreciate you watching.
No, don't tell anybody. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm a Yankee fan, but I love Red Sox stats. I love our Red Sox viewers and listeners. We have good ones. We it's like Bill Simmons isn't in here, so I don't hate any of you folks. We don't have Bill Simmons in the comments being like, my life is unfair. Like nothing good ever happens to me except for the 25 years where all my teams won 4 titles apiece. It's like, okay.
This is honestly, it's remarkable. We moved the show to a Friday for one time, and Adam is bringing out the impressions. Like we got 2 impressions in the first 18 minutes here. Unbelievable.
Does anybody even still listen to the Simmons podcast? He does a great ad read now for McDonald's, where he's like, I can't believe that he's doing it. Where he's like, wow, McDonald's best hamburger is back, or as the Hamburglar would say, robble robble, and it makes me laugh every single time. I can't believe he does it for real. But there you guys go.
Remarkable. Honestly, that is, yeah. I mean, we have a rundown every episode, and that was not on the rundown. That
was not in there. Robert, are you gonna write that? Are you gonna write that in your follow-up column that I did Bill Simmons and Sandler on?
Yeah, that's gonna be my lead. That is 100% gonna be my lead. Boy, oh boy, that's just another reason to tune into the Baseball Insiders here.
Yeah, we're giving you many. Justin in the comments asked me to do my best Scott Boras impression. I mean, do you want a silent podcast? I could do a dead silent podcast. No movement there. But I appreciate it. Appreciate it as always. I want it. Look, we usually open it up to our All-Star Discorder questions at this point. But even the All-Star members of the Discord, who are our most dedicated baseball fans, the questions were like, any Cubs rumors with a sad face. Somebody said, like, do you have Brewers rumors? Like, you can even make them up. I don't care. Just like tell me real or fake. I don't care. Just discuss them on the podcast. I mean, the questions are getting sadder. There was a good one from Rich, though, that basically asked, hey, what is holding up the outfield market for guys who are not named Cody Bellinger? I guess that's, Tommy Pham, Adam Duvall. There are plenty of these mid-tier outfielders we've talked about for a while that still have not landed anywhere, who are starting caliber outfielders. Tommy Pham was one of the stars of a World Series run last year for the Diamondbacks. Gave up an at-bat to somebody else, had a chance to go 5 for 5 or whatnot. And that was like a major storyline before the World Series turn on the Rangers. He can't find a home. What are we hearing about the outfield market in general is that dam about to break? Is somebody holding it up, or are we just, is it like everything else, slow moving interest, but little drama?
Yeah, it's basically, I think it's exactly what you just said. It's a case of teams having interest in these players, but just no one is making offers and no one is getting these deals done. Because if you look at it, besides Cody Bellinger, you have Jorge Soler, you have Tommy Pham, you have Adam Duvall, you have Michael Taylor. You have a lot of these different players who are really talented and guys who can give you consistent at bats and provide a lot of different things. And there's plenty of these teams that are looking for outfield help. So there's no shortage of these teams, but it's crazy to hear you talk to people who are involved in this, and like there's hardly any offers being made to these guys, and it just makes you wonder, like, why is that? And if you talk to people who are involved, they don't know. And it's really just a bizarre offseason in that regard. And like some of these teams are going to get some really talented players here in February or even possibly in March with the way that this is trending. Because currently we're on February 9th, and we have just an absolute abundance of really good baseball players that are left unsigned. So it's going to end up being a very dragged out offseason, which it already felt dragged out, but it might even be even more dragged out than it already is. And the Mets are obviously they're poking around with DH guys. JD Martinez rumors, they have poked around with that, but to my knowledge, nothing's close there. The Phillies have poked around looking for an outfielder, or a fourth outfield type. And that was even before the Brandon Marsh injury, although they expect him back according to a team announcement for opening day. They think that's going to end up being the case, but
unless Dr. Cohen did some nasty work in there, we don't
know.
Dude,
what are the odds though that the market, or not the market, but that the surgery was done by Steve Cohen, a guy named Steve Cohen? That's 1 in a trillion chances.
Yeah, this is weird too. I actually heard that every umpire who comes through Philadelphia this year is getting laser eye surgery performed by Dr. David Dombrowski. It's weird. I don't know. Hopefully that helps. I don't know. It's a nice thing for them to do for those umps.
Yeah, it's remarkable. It's remarkable. And yeah, I'll tell you that I saw that this morning and I was just like yeah, unbelievable. But anyways, this outfield market is a lot like these starting pitcher markets, and that they're just getting dragged out and more dragged out. And I was actually even sent an interesting thing from a baseball person the other day. Let me pull it up real quick. It was about Michael Lorenzen, and for everything that I've gotten to know about Michael Lorenzen, 1, he's healthy. 2, he's throwing bullpens for teams, and he's healthy. And he's a guy that before his August 9th no-hitter, he had a 3.22 ERA over 122.2 innings, 134 ERA plus, 2.1 FWAR, and he was an all-star a month before that. And if you look at a guy like Sean Manaea, who ended up signing for 2 years for $28 million, was in the same seasonal age, 4.44 ERA in that same time span as Michael Lorenzen in 117.2 innings. So Lorenzen, to me, he is a high upside guy in free agency. He's going to get a short-term deal. Is going to end up being a guy who can give you quality innings. There is maybe he ended up just getting burned out by the end, or maybe that's not the right phrasing for it. But he ended he was previously a reliever and had not thrown overly many innings as a starting pitcher throughout his career. So makes you wonder about that. But I do think he's a guy that you can sign for and won't break the bank for, and could end up being a guy that is pretty useful for you. So I think Lorenzen, he's definitely getting interest. That much I know. But yeah, I'm surprised by just the state of the market overall. And it's really strange how slow this has been. It's honestly to the point where it's not driving me mad, but not far off.
I mean, maybe he burned out down the stretch a little bit because he didn't visit Dr. Stephen Cohen enough, who Destiny Legardo is informing us is the Phillies team physician. To that I say, change your name. Get a new name. No.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's a great physician. Oh man, I guess we should do a Friday show every Friday because it's pretty fun to do a Friday show.
This is a good time.
The comments, Adam Hunter in the All-Star Discord channel, and the comments are talking about the Jays a bit. Like there are a few comments, Passan relit the belly to the Jays rumors. Adam Hunter said, any Jays rumblings? There was something in here about, is there any chance the Jays can't really be done, can they, other than stretching Ariel Rodriguez from 4 years to 5 years? No specifics needed, but I guess still hungry Blue Jays fans. Is there any potential wiggle room in that budget, especially with so much quality still unsigned?
Yeah, to me, the Blue Jays, they can't be done. And I've been pretty consistent with that throughout the most recent podcast, is I don't think they can be done. They should not be done. And like Passan, he ended up kind of relighting those flames for the Blue Jays fans with the Bellinger talk the other day. I don't know about that in particular. Passan is extremely connected, obviously, and anything he says, like, you can take that as 100% truth. Like, I mean, although it doesn't seem like he was reporting anything solid there, or like it was just like him not connecting. But to me, the Blue Jays can't be done. They adding another bat, I think, would make a lot of sense for them. But yeah, I'm pretty adamant they should not be done. They should not be done. They can't be done.
It's impossible not to dot connect at this point in the offseason because we laugh at the yapping, and I got accused of yapping on the line. To which I say, I don't even know what else. Robert was gone. I don't know what I was supposed to do. But obviously we're all doing yapping at this point in time because we're running at it. Gas tank is empty. Like, season is starting. Yamamoto and the Dodgers are at spring training. We're doing Dodgers puff pieces because their pitchers and catchers are there. These teams need to sign this large pool of talented players soon. If the Red Sox are going to keep looking for ways to clear salary and entertaining Montgomery and entertaining Jansen, then the Blue Jays need to entertain Bellinger, who's still on the market. Somebody has to entertain Blake Snell. Why not the Mariners? I don't know. The Mariners need to call me, tell me, let me know, because great fit, possible contender in the division, but Seattle native, still available. Just somebody push something across the finish line.
No, exactly. And it's just like something's got to get pushed over the finish line before too long, because this pace is just unbelievable. And like, even like we had mentioned before, like we were talking about the Blue Jays and them not being done. I still think a team like the Angels shouldn't be done. Obviously, like their roster, I mean, you can't mistake it. Like their roster is worse now than it was last year. And obviously losing Shohei Ohtani is a big, big, big deal. And to me, I don't necessarily know how much more money they have to spend, but the common theme that I heard throughout the entire offseason was that they were evaluating infield, outfield, starting pitching, relief pitching. They were looking at anything and everything. And if you look at what they've done so far, I don't think you can make the argument that this should be done. I don't think they're going to be done, but I'm still tempering the expectation on what type of move they'll end up making. Obviously, we've talked about it plenty, how unpredictable Artie Moreno is. You never know with him, but I don't think the Angels are going to end up being done. But as I said, I'm just kind of tempering the expectation on what kind of move it is.
Yeah, we hate to temper. We don't want to temper the expectations, but sometimes
no.
You gotta.
No, and it's like, this off season is crazy, man. It is crazy.
Anything else coming from your notebook that has to be shared before we sign off on this one and see everybody again on Monday?
No, I'm thinking we'll unload the notebook once again on Monday. I'll spend the entire weekend trying to fill up the notebook. I'll try to fill up the notebook on Sunday, which happens to be not only Super Bowl Sunday, but it is my 28th birthday. So that will be a good time. Working on the birthday is something we got to do, especially when the off season is this slow. There are scoops out there. There are scoops to be had. Well, hopefully. And I'm going to go get one for a birthday. How's that sound? I think that's going to end up being the birthday plan, in addition to brunch.
Yeah, it sounds brunch first, then scoops. It does sound like a good one. Then Super Bowl. Technically, I guess you got to watch that. It's important. I'll give we got Red Sox people on the chat. I'll give Red Sox fans a little gift too. Sometime in like 2018, when Jared Carrabis was just like at his most trolly, and I just like couldn't take it anymore. I blocked him, and then the Red Sox started to struggle, and I was like, I think I'm gonna keep him blocked. I think I'm gonna keep him blocked for a while. Like, I just, hey, maybe I have this awesome power. Like, who knows? Like, I recently decided to unblock him because I thought that I wanted to read his tweets, and I just thought that I forgot, and then I remembered, and I was like, oh, now that I'm like hosting this show, like I got to unblock him. He's like somebody I would like, I'd like to interact with that person. I don't want to have him blocked anymore. I guess I just have to take my medicine when the Red Sox win. I have to read his tweets. So congratulations, Boston Red Sox fans. You will be winning the World Series this year. Jared is unblocked.
And Jared's going to somehow see this and end up blocking you. It's just going to be the
sure.
reverse.
He can block me if he wants. He can absolutely block me if he wants.
Yeah. When you said you had a gift for Red Sox fans, I didn't know which direction you were going in with that.
I lifted the curse. Now you guys are good to go again. Again, I didn't even block out of spite. I just blocked because the Red Sox were doing too well, and I was like, "Fuck this! I don't want to read this." Now we're back.
Hey, I'll tell you, I'm the same way when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. Anyone who's associated with the Dallas Cowboys, I make sure I block them because I'm a diehard Birds fan. I'm not putting up with any Cowboys talking the timeline. No way, no how. Go Birds, baby. Yeah, that's right. Oh, and one more thing is Canyon, you own Jacob Z. Mm-hmm. So I just want to make that abundantly clear. Canyon, you own Jacob Z.
That's in the notebook.
That's number one in the notebook.
Yeah. Look, I didn't know about muting. I just did a reactionary block, but I unblocked. It's obviously one of the best baseball accounts. That's how it is. You can't work in baseball and have that blocked. So Jared, you're back on my feed, but you can block me if you want to. Robert, this was a fun show. Happy Super Bowl weekend. Happy 28th birthday. Happy refilling of the notebook. It has been a grind. I did Sandler. I did Simmons for some reason. Friday show kind of electric though. It's not bad.
No, it was a very good show. Yeah, this is the kind of show that I absolutely love. We may have to do more Friday shows because this was a good time, and we appreciate everyone who tuned in. Very active comment sections today, and thank you for all the aggregators who are out there. My phone isn't allowing me to refresh my notifications, so I'm hoping the aggregators were right and didn't take. But anyways, we'll see everyone on Monday when I'm 28 officially, which holy cow, I can't believe I'm about to be 28. Andrew Lee, we did talk about the Padres in here.
Yes.
That was around middle of the show, I want to say.
Yeah, we did some Duran. I mean, check our faithful Red Sox aggregators. You'll see what we had to say about the Padres.
That is facts. Yeah. Red Sox stats will take care of you. Yeah. There we go. I appreciate you, Jordan. I appreciate everyone for the birthday wishes and everything. Nathan, I saw you. I want to ask, because Nathan, you were asking about this.
Yeah.
You were asking about the Marlins, and obviously they're having conversations about their starting pitching. To my knowledge, I have not heard of anything close, but their pursuit of a veteran shortstop, and there's been plenty of them mentioned with them, publicly, like Tim Anderson. Among others, there's been, I think, 4 or 5 connected maybe. Those conversations are real. I don't know which one is the most likely, but I can tell you that they are having conversations with shortstops.
Well, there you go. It's something. It's not nothing. It's something for the Marlins faithful. We'll take care, everybody. We'll see you back here on Monday, probably, I think. Yes. And also, yes. Tyler, I know that you and Jared goes the show. That's why I'm saying unblocked. He wasn't blocked for a reason. He was just blocked from superstition, and now unblocked. Level playing field in the AL East. Let's get the Red Sox Yankees rivalry back where it should be. To the point where I'm so aggravated by your success that I have to block again. For Robert Murray, I'm Adam Weinrib. We will see you guys all back here on Monday. Take care, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.